Hello everyone. A couple days ago, I polled in my community page asking people a few questions about men and their emotions, and I got some interesting responses. But before we dive into those poll responses, I'd like to tap into our community and ask some fellow men what they think about feelings and emotions. Let's see what they say. Oh, hey there. I'm just watching the thermostat to make sure no one else touches it. Feelings? What do I think about feelings? Well, I would say feelings have saved my marriage, ever since I became, more in touch with my feminine side, as my wife likes to say. I've been reading the kids' stories, having a good time. So, yeah, I'd say I support feelings. What? Feelings? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? When I'm fixing a sink, I don't reach into my heart and use my feelings to fix it. I reach into my tool bag and I grab a screwdriver, okay? 2, 3. What? Feelings? I think you mean weakness. What? Yeah, guys have feelings. Why? Who says they don't? I mean, feelings are absolutely important to mental health. Who's saying guys don't have feelings? What? Feelings? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I told my dad that I was sad, he told me to rub dirt on my heart. So there's some feelings for you. Hey everyone, all kidding aside, I do want to talk about men and their feelings. And I want to have a couple prefaces to this because I asked some polls, I asked some questions to you guys, and I got some responses. In fact, I got 2,000 responses on one, 1,800 on another, and 1,600 on another. And those are all the votes that people gave to the questions I asked. I want to preface that. Number one, most of my subscribers are males. So I think I have a 70-30 ratio male to female. So I do know that. That's a knowledge I have. Another thing is these questions I asked specifically to men. So I know a lot of you are women. These questions weren't for you. Just because I was curious on the male perspective. And another thing is, I feel like something that bothers me sometimes is, like, let's say I talk about women and let's say I talk about men and like men's emotions or women's emotions. And it's like, it's like by me talking about football, I'm not saying soccer is bad, or I'm not disregarding soccer. It's like, I'm just talking about football. Like that's it. And to me, I think there is a positive thing to talking about men and to talking about men's emotions in society and the role that emotional support and encouragement plays specifically towards men. I don't think there are any negative side effects to talking about that. And if you think there are, please let me know. Why do you think it's a bad thing to talk about men's feelings or men's emotional support? Because I think it's a positive thing. I think the more we focus on that and the more we break away from, the classic toxic masculinity of you can never say a puppy's cute your entire life. You have to just hold that in with all your might. It's like, no, that's bad. And that's wrong. Now, I do hear people say sometimes, okay, there's a shift. There has been a recent shift in society. A lot of feminists, a lot of people being very pro-women. And it's like, I think it's good at its heart. It's like, because if you look at the social aspect for women, the history's not so great, right? We can all agree on that on the social side. And then I would say for the men, we're more on the bad side of history when it comes to combat and wars. I think throughout most of history, men died in combat and wars. So women got the bad end of the stick when it came to where they were socially, and men throughout history got the bad end of the stick when it came to picking up their swords, picking up their guns, whatever have you, and going and dying in combat. So now that we have that out of the way, here's the questions that I asked. So question number one was, do men today get enough emotional support and encouragement? 9% of you said yes. 91% of you said no. That sucks. That's a lot of you guys, I'm assuming most of you guys, saying no, you don't feel like you're getting enough emotional support and encouragement. What do you say? This person says, I genuinely can't recall the last time anyone has encouraged me. That's terrible. That's devastating. My friends and I have started saying king shit after every accomplishment we make, no matter how big or small. Sometimes you just need to remind yourself of your own worth and potential. Absolutely. I think that should be something we all work on. I know, especially as guys, it's hard sometimes to give genuine compliments without being perceived as less of a person. And girls, like you might not relate to this, but for us guys, like it is hard to talk about like feelings and emotions. Like you do feel like less of a guy sometimes by saying that. But there's nothing wrong with boosting each other up. Sticky Art says, I got told by almost everyone around me that my art and content creation were a waste of time for 3 years, and still to this day, even though I now make more art financially than I have with a traditional job, I'm actually happy doing what I do. Trying to think the lack of support, maybe even jealousy, are very relatable at this point in my life. Yep. You're always going to have haters, always going to have doubters, and you got to nip it in the butt. Everybody's got them. But the thing is, to me is like, would you rather listen to someone who has your best intentions at heart or someone who doesn't give jack shit about who you are? Like, there you go. Like, why? Even if someone's being extremely negative of you, sure, you can look at it at face value, but then also say, do they like want me to succeed, or are they just tearing me down? I am a man. Literally anybody out of my family doesn't care about my feelings except one person, but I have myself to keep me happy. Okay. That might be the case for some people. You might not have a lot of people you can go to. And I would say for guys, since it is maybe a little bit harder to talk about your feelings, if you can't afford therapy, just find one person. Seriously. Like just one good, it can be a guy friend. Also, it can be a girlfriend if you want. Like, not like a girlfriend you're dating, but like a friend that's a girl. Like, but you definitely should have at least one person in your life that you can go to and, you know, talk about your feelings. Because the thing is with feelings is it's inside your head until it isn't. It's like, that's why when you see a football game and immediately when it ends, you have to talk about it. Or when you see a movie, you have to talk about it. You're like, look what we just saw. Like, what were your guys' experience? What were your shared experiences? That's just a big part of life. Never have I ever cried in front of someone. Never have I ever had someone encourage me. Again, that's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll encourage you. You can do it, whatever you're trying to do. So from what I can tell, at least from these people I've polled, so these 1,600 people are saying, no, men today do not get enough emotional support and encouragement. I don't have the answer. I'm more just bringing awareness in this video because I was curious what people would think. So let's go on to the next question. Do you feel like society is more focused on supporting men or women? 1,800 of you said, 11% said men, 89% said women. So 89% of you feel like society is more focused on supporting women, which I would say again is partly true. Again, like there has been a shift in focus to, you know, get more women in tech, get more women into certain jobs, you know, boost women with certain articles and whatnot. And I'm not putting any biases to that. I'm just saying like that's just the case. Like that's just a lot of what we're seeing. But let's see what you guys say. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I want actual gender equality. If I hit someone, I expect them to hit me back, no matter their gender, because, you know, I hit them. We just need to work on becoming actually equal. Yeah, I mean, that's always, I feel like, the first example that a lot of people on both sides will say, like, okay, well, is it okay to hit women? And most people would say, or some people would say, like, okay, if there's an equal exchange, right? You hit me, I hit you. It's like back and forth. I would wager don't hit anyone unless maybe you have to, or it's self-defense. But I understand, you know, emotions get high. So I'm not saying yes to domestic abuse. Stop. Okay. Context. Even the justice system simp for women. They'll give the kid to the crackhead mom and the stable job father who has a nice apartment. Yes, I have heard of many cases like this, unfortunately, where they're, especially in a marriage or a divorce, the mom could be very emotionally unstable, but the court for some reason will favor the mom over the dad. And it's really sad to see. And I've had friends who've experienced this, and they said they weren't really quite sure why they were going to their mom when their dad had like a nice job, a nice apartment, and they went over to their mom's house. And the mom had nothing and didn't really want to improve her life or take care of the kids. Like, I feel like the court should just look at it as factually as possible and as non-biased as possible. That's what you'd hope for in a best case scenario. So the main reason I asked this question was like, I understand the drive for equality. Like, I think it's good. I think equal opportunity is important for everyone. But I do see a problem where it's like, we can't talk about men's emotions. Like, men's emotions take the back seat. No, I think both men and women matter. Okay, I think they do. That could be a hot take for Twitter, maybe. I could get canceled for saying men have feelings and they also need emotional support and encouragement just as much as women. I'm fine if I get canceled for that, because I don't think our society will progress if we ignore one or the other sex. Like, they both have to be valued and there can't be an imbalance. And what I'm seeing here with an 89 and 11% is 1,800 view feel it's very skewed towards women. Like, it's not even close. It's not even close. And it's basically 90 and 10%. That's a huge discrepancy. And it makes me a little sad to see. Next question, and the final one. I said, as a man, do you feel comfortable sharing your emotions with your partner or close friends? So this one was encouraging. It's still close. It could be better, but it's close. It's a positive. So 56% of you said yes. 44% of you said no. Let's read some of the comments. That's why guys drop dead at 50 from like 40 years of not being able to admit a puppy's cute. True. There you go. There are some secrets that no one must ever know. I agree and disagree. I do think therapy, counseling, you can go to them and they have a promise of confidentiality. So, and sometimes it's nice to tell people your deepest, darkest secrets and know that they won't judge you. I feel like that's a big burden off a lot of people, as a lot of people will say, oh, well, I've done, this or that, and I feel terrible about it and I don't want to live my life anymore. And it's like so relieving to tell someone and be like, hey, guess what? Like, I gave my friend burnt toast one time, and it's like, oh, like, well, that's not that bad, or oh, I've done that before. And then it's like you stop judging yourself because you told another person and they had like a neutral response to it. It can be very healthy. I don't have feelings. I'm a robot. I want to destroy the world. I don't have any friends. Damn, I kind of don't have a friend. I think I'm a sponge. I soak up everyone else's problems. I didn't vote because I'm in the middle. Seriously, though, it's difficult to talk about my feelings. I've just learned to hide them, How can I answer? I've never felt that feeling. Anything said to your woman will be used against you. Ouch. Only my closest friends. Sid says I'm not a man. Really? Okay, yeah. No, because no one cares. No, but I do it anyway because I trust my friends. Okay. I'm probably just touching on the tip of the iceberg for this kind of a topic, and I mean, maybe other people have talked about it before. I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like it matters. I want you guys to know that you matter. Okay, I'm talking again to my boys out there, my homies, my dudes. Okay, you guys are people, okay, and people have feelings. And this is a tangent of mine because I've grown up and my personality type isn't the stereotypical guy personality type, or like the alpha male, right? I wasn't ever like trying to prove myself. I was just trying to be friends with literally everybody. Like, that was my goal in life, I became like a people pleaser in a sense. And I had to work past that. But I almost always related to girls in a sense because I feel like girls were able to talk about their emotions more openly. They were better communicators than my guy friends were. They had more interesting conversations, and I learned through life that that's not necessarily true. Now I do have some guy friends. I think they're both important, right? My female and male friends are equally important, and I go to both of them because they can literally offer me different things, and that's because, again, like the biological differences between the sexes. So sadly, this video has kind of like a sad undertone to it because obviously these responses weren't very encouraging to me. I wanted to know what you guys said, and the community responded, and it's pretty heavily skewed for men not getting enough emotional support and encouragement, society being way more focused on women, and it's generally positive when it comes to men sharing their emotions with other people. But I can tell you from experience growing up, that was something that I had to learn later in life. I was not encouraged. Maybe I think when I was like 20 or 21, I started like being able to talk about my feelings with my guy friends. Up until then, it was like just jokes and stuff. I don't know why. Maybe that's just the way I was. Like it's just hard to talk about it sometimes. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Do you think society cares about men's feelings? And do you think that men today get enough emotional encouragement and support? Because I think there's a positive change we can make on society by opening this conversation and talking with other men about their struggles and what problems they have and like how they can combat those. And I feel like we could develop a really strong community for that here on my channel and in my Discord and my YouTube. Like I want to open up that conversation, and that's the reason why I wanted to, ask these questions. I just wanted to see how you guys were feeling, and not really to my surprise, I had a sneaky suspicion that a lot of other guys would feel this way. But let's try to change this. Let's try to make it so that guys are, more emotionally supported and encouraged. I don't want, the young men growing up today to be, discouraged. I don't want them to just be depressed their whole lives and to know that they can't share their feelings. I think we do need to change that narrative for the better. So sorry that this video had a negative undertone to it, but I wanted to get this video out. I wanted to get this conversation started because I do feel like it's important. And all my dudes out there, I do care about you guys. And darn it, please talk about your feelings to somebody. If you don't have somebody, please find someone. If you can afford it, please go to therapy or counseling. Because I personally, again, I don't care if I get canceled for it, but I think that guys' emotions matter. And I think that focusing on male emotional support and stability and tactics and engaging with each other in an open and honest way will help relieve the stress we've built up over these past couple of years. And we'll get rid of this whole, toxic masculinity business. Thank you. That's my 2 cents. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Stumbled round the block 1,000 times in hysterical that I had tried to now given up. Heartbreaking in December and I don't give a fuck. Never remember me while you're pulling on his jeans, getting lost in a big city. I was looking out our window, watching all the cars go. And if I see Chicago or the sunset on the west coast, or will I die in the cold, feeling blue and alone? I wonder if you'll ever hear this song on your stereo. I hope you get your blowing flow, your perfect house with a rose red door. I'm the last thing you remember. It's been a long, lonely December. Wish I'd known that less is more. I was passed out on the floor, and that's the last thing I remember. It's been a long, lonely December. Cast me aside to show yourself in bed light. I came out breathing, barely breathing, and you came out alright. But I'm sure you'll take this in. Nothing's better than I ever could have been. My mistakes were not intentions. This is a list of my confessions I couldn't say. I miss your face, you're in my head. So many things that I should have said. A year of suffering, a lesson learned. You get your ballroom floor, your perfect house on a rose red door. I'm the last thing you remember. It's been a long, lonely December. Wish I'd known that less is more. I was passed out on the floor, and that's the last thing I